Hi guys, it's Nancy, and I'm going to show you the new in color inks for Stampin' Up! For 2022-2023, and we're going to stamp out this new stamp set called Sunny Splash. Stampin' Up! Has like 40, I think it's like 40 colors of inks that are their staple colors that they keep, and they just revamped this a few years ago so that there wasn't too many colors. And then every year they bring out 5 new in colors is what they're called, and these in colors will stay in for 2 years. So they just retired a set, and there's a set that will stay in, so they'll have 2 sets of in colors. So we have another set that's 5 colors that will stay in for 1 more year. These will stay in for 2 years. Next year they'll bring another set in, and then the following year these will retire, and so on. So these are limited edition colors. So if you order these, I order mine without the re-inkers, and then before they retire, then I scoop up the re-inkers. It's up to you, depending on if you're going to keep the inks or not. And they come wrapped in shrink plastic. So you're going to open that. And they went to this new design a few years back. And you're going to take a little pokey tool. And you want to grab the label. They have it in a couple different languages. And I noticed they now have a blank label. So if you do any kind of swatching, or you want to label your re-inkers, or you want to label the front or the back, or however you want to do it. And then I usually attach that label on the inside here. Now, for those of you that have specific blending brushes for certain colors, you can do that as well. And the way that these open is they pop and they slide. Okay, you can also put that other label in there, so let's be careful to grab that. This way, when you are working with the ink pads open, you know what colors you're working with. Try to put that in there straight. And of course, you know, I do recommend swatching them out on paper that you actually stamp on, so you can see what it looks like. Because on different papers, different porous, different finishes, your colors could change slightly. This is a dye ink, so what the dye ink will do is actually dye into your paper, so it'll dry back a little bit. It's not a pigment ink, so it doesn't sit on top. And I am struggling with this sticker. Here we go. I already stuck my finger in the ink pad twice. Okay, close enough. So now I can see what this color is. And again, if you want to put another label over here, you can, or you have the label over here. And if you do get ink, you can clean that up. Now, someone told me if you are struggling with these ink pads, you can actually spray these channels with a little bit of WD-40. That's personal preference if you want to do that. You still have the ability to squeeze the lids if you wanted to put a little bit of ink in there. Let me see how much I'm going to get out of that. So you get a little bit of ink. So if you want to use the Stampin' Up! Blender pens, which of course I don't have in front of me, but they have these Stampin' Up! Blending pens where, and I believe they come in a 3-pack, and they have a little bit thicker tip there. One's more bold than the other, I think. But what you do is you dip into the ink, and then you can color your images in. And then even though the tips stain, you can clear that off by just rubbing it on a clear piece of paper. So this is nice if you want to color in an image to match your inks. They do sell matching markers and matching cardstock, which is nice, but it's personal preference if you want to get all of that. Now, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you do have to purchase your Stampin' Up! Products from a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I do have a May Hostess code. This is for May 2022. The code is K64X 467U as an umbrella. And what this will do is if you are spending less than $150, it's basically little reward points that go into the total order that I can use to purchase more products. And if you have more than $150 spent, you'll get your own code and you can spend towards like glue or dimensionals, which are pop dots, things like that. All right, so let's talk about the new colors. So the first one is Sweet Sorbet, which you just saw me use. Orchid Oasis, which is a nice deep purple. Starry Sky, which is almost like a dark blue purple color. Very bright Tahitian Tide. And a very nice Parakeet Party. I wanted to say party parakeet. Parakeet Party. So we're going to stamp these out. I want to make a really quick slimline card. So I'm going to grab a piece of Stampin' Up! Basic White. This is an 8.5 by 11 cardstock. It's pretty heavyweight. Not like card base heavy, but that's okay. And since I want to do a slimline, I'm going to use one piece of paper for the whole thing. So I'm going to take my trimmer. And normally slim lines are 3.5 by 8.5. Okay, so we're gonna cut 3.5 inches off the end here. So right at 3.5 inches, we're gonna slide our trimmer there, and so what's left will be our card base. So now at 3.5. I'm going to use the scoring tool of my trimmer, which is the gray one, and I'm going to score this card base. And when I fold this over, I'll have just a little sliver left. We're going to cut that off. Okay, so now I have my slimline card base. Now this is the part I want to stamp on, so I'm going to cut about 1/4 off of here. So I'm going to make this 8 1/4 by 3 1/4. So this will be our stamping panel. And I want to make sure that I follow that line all the way down to make sure it's straight. So now this is 8 1/4 by 3 1/4 for our stamping panel. I might trim that down some more later, but that's good enough for now. And I'm going to make a really quick and easy slimline with this new stamp set. This is called Sunny Splash. Now, when I got this stamp set, my case came damaged. You can always contact Stampin' Up! If that happens. However, I honestly don't keep most of my stamps in this for storage space. I usually take them out. So this is the insert and the stickers if you want to apply those. I don't usually use them. And then the stickers have that protective wax paper on there. I took that off. So because this is broken, it won't stay closed. Down here it's chipped, and up here you can see it's cracked pretty bad. So this will actually go in the trash. I'm not going to use that. But what I will use is either storage envelopes like these, or this is a die envelope that came with a die set that I ordered. So I will just store my stamps in here. So either storage envelopes or these die folders are pretty nice. Now, if it's a stamp and a die set, I normally keep them in the plastic DVD cases. But in this case, because it's just a red rubber cling stamp, I'll just store everything in here. All right, and I took off that protective wax paper off the back, and I just want to use the new colors. This set is really cute. It's called Sunny Splash, and it says, "Make a splash, hello sunshine, anywhere with you is paradise, wishing you were here." And there are 4 different bathing suits, and since we have 5 new colors, I thought that we could use each one of those and kind of swatch these out and see what they look like. All right, so bring my Stampin' Up! Block in here, and I am going to start with the striped one. And these are cling already. You can use the stickers if you want to, you know, show you the orientation of the stamp. I honestly just eyeball it. It's just fun for me. And I guess I'm going to sort of kind of do a rainbow order here. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to start with Sweet Sorbet. And again, we're going to pop and slide. These are nice, large ink pads. They are very spongy, so a little tap goes a long way. This is a brand new stamp, so I'm going to stamp off on my scrap paper here. This paper pad you can purchase separately from Stampin' Up! As well. They have different designs every year. This one was from a few years ago, but this grid paper is nice because it helps you see if your alignment is straight. But when you have a new stamp, it doesn't always accept ink right away because of the chemicals and the process of creating the stamp, so you may want to stamp it a few times. And sometimes when you have ink on this overlaying extra rubber area, when you stamp and press too hard into your ink pad or press too hard into your stamp, that can stamp out. So you want to be conscious of that. If you have ink there, you're putting too much ink in on your stamp with your spongy pad, and when you go to stamp, if you're pressing too hard, you're going to get that. If that happens, and sometimes it just happens because of the stamp set, you can take your scissors and gently trim around if you don't want that excess on there. So by cleaning this off, and then taking pretty heavy duty scissors to do this, you can trim a little closer so you don't have that excess. And also sometimes when you have stamps, maybe it's like a sentiment or something, they attach them, and maybe it's like a happy birthday and you don't want them attached together. You can always cut your stamps apart. It doesn't hurt your stamps. A little stamp surgery will go a long way. Now it's not going to fit perfectly back into its carrier position here, but at least I know that's where it belongs. I like to keep the outside of the rubber so that when I'm packing up and cleaning, I know, okay, I'm missing a stamp in that area. All right, so now that we've trimmed up that rubber and cleaned it up a little bit, let's have some fun and stamp this out a little bit. These inks do dry fairly quickly, and again, just a light little tap, tap, tap will get your ink on there. You really don't want to rock the stamp. You just want to go straight down, and boom, we have a perfect image there. Okay. And we're going to move on to the next one. Let's do this solid one. So the next color, and to close these, you're going to slide and pop. We're going to use this Parakeet Party. And again, because it's new, we want to stamp it off a few times until we get good coverage. There we go. All right, that is a very bright, very pretty green. Wonderful. Nice summer color. Okay, so we're going to slide and pop to close it. The next one we're going to go in with is Tahitian Tide. Actually, now I'm going to switch it up and do Orchid Oasis because this is a darker. We're going to do Starry Sky. Pop, slide to open it. And let's go in with the polka dotted one. That is a dark navy. That's fun. I'd buy that bathing suit. All right. Okay. High quality red rubber stamps. You don't really have to worry about them staining unless you use like an archival ink. They clean up very well. They normally last longer in terms of longevity. They do provide usually much crisper, clearer, more detailed images. And again, these are already clean and ready to go. All right, so we have two more colors left. This one is Orchid Oasis. So this is a purple, like a bluish purple. This is more of a solid stamp, so we're going to need a little extra ink on this one. All right, so now this ink, this stamp, because it's so solid, is not, my ink is kind of splotchy. So I'm going to condition this a little more. So there are a couple ways you can do that. Number one is, you can see I stamped it out quite a few times, and you can see when I stamped out the other ones how they went from kind of blotchy to full solid. And this one did go from blotchier to more solid, but not where I like it. So you can take a regular eraser, a pencil eraser, and kind of just erase the stamp. And again, it's because there's release agents on these stamps when they're manufactured to release them from the mold, so sometimes it just resists the ink a little bit more. And the other thing you can do is just stamp it with some clear Versamark ink. And what that'll do is just kind of help make the stamp a little more accepting of the ink. Okay, and I'm not going to clean that off. I'm going to leave that on there. And now let's ink this up and see how we do. Getting better. Okay, I think I just got to really kind of ink this one a few times to get that full. Okay, much better. All right. And this is a lighter color. It's a much lighter purple than this dark blue. So I'm really going to get that nice and juicy. Give that a second to transfer over. All right, now we got a nice solid image, and we got a little bit of transfer off that extra rubber on the top there, so I'll probably trim that off of there later too. Okay, then we need to pick one more to do the final color. I think we will go back in with, I think we'll do this one with a little lace detail. I don't want to do the striped one again because it'll be too obvious. So I think this one blends a little better. And we're going to stamp that one with the Tahitian Tide bright blue ink. Ooh, that is a very nice color. Just give the inks a few seconds to soak in, and we have perfectly stamped image there. Now I like that blue, so we're going to leave that out, and we're going to pick a quick sentiment and put this card together. It's very easy. So I like Hello Sunshine. And I think I can just fit that in right there and use that same color blue. Again, we're going to do a little practice stamping. Make sure everything looks good. All right, so I have a little excess transfer on the top of this stamp. I definitely want to clean that up. And it's right above the hello. It's right here. So this little corner is going to get a little snip. All right, much better. Perfect. Okay, so now that we have that stamped out, all we need to do is assemble our card. Stamped out the new in colors. Look how beautiful they are. And again, the blue is called Tahitian Tide. Orchid Oasis is the purple. The dark blue is Starry Sky. That is the perfect name for it. We have Parakeet Party. Nice, fun, lime green. And the last one is Sweet Sorbet. So definitely some fun summer colors as part of the new in colors for 2022 and 2023. Okay, and we're going to bring our slimline card base back in. And we're going to use our Tombow multi-liquid glue. And this glue is nice because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, but it stays tacky for a moment. So if you have to move it, you can do that as well. And you have a fine tip and you have a thicker, fatter tip on the other end if you wanted to spread your glue out a little more. But I just basically just put it on the edges here. And we'll have a little bit of play here so I can get this centered. And now we have a fun, easy, slimline card using the brand new In Colors and the brand new Sunny Splash stamp set. And again, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can place an order online and choose me as your demonstrator. You can email me if you need my information to look me up. And then the May Hostess code is K64X4. 67U as in umbrella. If you're spending less than $150, if you're going to spend more than $150, you will automatically be given your own code. So you can take that extra that you're spending and get some more goodies, like I said, like dimensionals or Tombow glue or anything like that. All right. If you have any questions, post them down below. And I want to know which bathing suit is your favorite. Do you like the red stripes, the Parakeet Party green, the polka dot Starry Sky, the Orchid, or the Tahitian? So let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, guys, and keep on stamping. Bye.